is going on, guys? Hello. How you guys all doing tonight? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and on this Thursday evening, 2 days after 2022, which of course was the last time I did a video was Monday night, so I meant to do this review Tuesday night. My friend came over, we had tacos, we played video games. He stayed a little later than I thought. Didn't get to, was too tired to do this review afterwards. So, I've been wanting to get caught up for a while on a lot of content on this channel. So, literally tonight and tomorrow, I'm going all out hardcore. Let's get caught up on this channel. So, hopefully, by the end of tomorrow night, I will have most, if not all, of the stuff I wanted to get done, like all the topic videos and live reviews I want to get done, caught up. It's going to be a little tough tonight because I'm going to be doing this while watching new episode of Young Sheldon, new episode of Law & Order SVU, and Organized Crime, because those shows are back and I watched the new episodes when they come out. So, that's true. But what is going on again? This is the Club of the Man 1993. We are here live for my live review of WWE Elimination Chamber, February 19th, 2022. Will you guys remember this show? I sure as hell will. This show was live. And you're going to think I sound crazy. But for the first time since Super Showdown 2019, other than a few random live reactions, I'm actually doing a live review of a Blood Money show. I've never supported these Blood Money shows, these shows overseas that WWE does. They're always so half-assed, just so they can get all their money. But of course, since this one was Elimination Chamber, and despite the fact that I really have nothing I'm excited about for WWE right now at all, I'm sorry, I'm not, I thought, okay, it's Elimination Chamber, it's WrestleMania season, see what happens. I'm in a see what happens mode with WWE right now. I have not been watching Raw and SmackDown religiously. Here and there, I have that as background noise, but again, I still have no interest in this company whatsoever. But I'm still going to be reviewing the content. Well, the pay-per-views. Still not doing Raw or SmackDown reviews. And I'm definitely not watching NXT. Not doing that. But, so Tyler, of course, says he's not doing anything with Saudi Blood Money house shows. I wouldn't either, but I gave an exception to this one. It's Elimination Chamber. I actually like watching the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Unfortunately, though, for the second year in a row, it was a pretty bland show. It was pretty bland. I wouldn't say... I probably came out of this show not as sour about it as I was with Royal Rumble. I was not the biggest fan of Royal Rumble. This show, I gave the same grades I gave the Royal Rumble, but to me it was like, I expected what I saw. I knew none of these matches, well, except for one, none of these matches were going to blow it out of the water. Things I feared happened, but I'm just like, at this point, whatever. Other than, so far, the matches announced for WrestleMania, other than one, WrestleMania 38 just feels like it's not getting anything that the fans want. It's just what WWE wants, and what WWE is doing things to try to make themselves look good. They're bringing in celebrities, past part-timers, like way outdated and whatnot. Bringing on the same matches we've seen how many single times for WrestleMania 38. This show really did not get me any more excited for WrestleMania 38. I'm sorry. My expectations for WrestleMania 38 are low. And they weren't too high for this pay-per-view either. I thought a couple of the matches could have been better than they were. But it just was what it was. There was even a match on this show I even skipped over. There was one match I did not watch other than one spot everybody wants was talking about it. But other than that, that is it. I didn't really enjoy the show. The match of the night was, I mean, again, like I said, it was okay. It was just bland. It wasn't insulting, but I knew it was coming, and I'm just like, well, I knew it was going to happen. It wasn't, to me, it wasn't insulting or weird or whatnot. Who knows? But let's check the live chat, and we'll get into this review. Tyler says he's not doing anything with Saudi Blood Money House shows. Brock is getting to overpush right now and overstaying his welcome. We'll talk about that probably in a little bit more of like a separate video. I'm going to try to do tonight. What's up, Mark? He said, please let that have been Goldberg's last match. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second also. And Tyler did not review this Blood Money show. Like I said, I normally don't either. The last show that I gave a chance for overseas for, a whole review, full attention. I even did a preview predictions, I believe, for it as well. I can't remember if I did a preview for it or not. I did do a preview and whatnot. That actually gave a shot was Super Showdown 2018. After I did that, I'm like, yeah, not again. Even though I did hear Crown Jewel this past year was good. I'm sorry, Crown Jewel. But I only watched 2 of the matches from that show. But let's talk about Chamber. Again, it took place this past Saturday, February 19th, 2022, at the Jeddah Super Dome, not the Silver Dome, the Super Dome, in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. We had a pre-show match. I did not watch the pre-show. But it was between Rey Mysterio and The Miz. I believe Rey Mysterio won, with Dominic helping him out again, which is, I don't get why they keep doing that. Why do they keep having the Mysterios, like, helping each other out, winning? I mean, did The Miz even bring anybody out for this match to help him? I don't know. Well, he didn't, of course, because this was led to the story we got on Raw this past Monday, where now, so, months ago, you would think, okay, long-term storytelling here. You started showing some teases. This is probably where Dominic's going to turn on his dad, and we're going to get Rey and Dominic at WrestleMania 38. Nope! We're getting Rey and Dominic still being a team, teaming up, and they're going to be taking on The Miz and Logan Paul. I don't know that much about Logan Paul, but all I hear about him is apparently he likes taking photographs with animals that aren't breathing. And also, it just leaves that sour taste in the mouth. Why does WWE have to bring in all these celebrities to wrestle? Like, you see Logan Paul beating up Rey Mysterio. Why the heck is Logan Paul beating up a legend? He's a jobber. Even though, I'll be honest, at times, WWE hasn't done the best job booking Rey, of course. But still, why is Logan Paul beating the crap out of Rey Mysterio? He's a joke, when Logan Paul is the joke. We're relying on Logan Paul. We're bringing back all these other part-timers because there's just nobody here. That's the problem with WWE. There's nobody here, and it feels lifeless. It's like, to me, the Pirates. There's like nobody on a team. Why do I care about watching the Pirates? I've obviously watched other baseball stuff with baseball, which is why I've been doing a lot more baseball videos lately, of course, too, as well, about retirements and whatnot. But why would I care? Why do I give a crap? At least last year with Damian Priest and Bad Bunny, yes, I was sour about it because, like, okay, again, they're relying on, another celebrity. At least Bad Bunny was good. And 2, it gave a new star in Damian Priest on the main roster a good look. And Priest has had a good run as United States Champion. As one thing I will give credit to WWE, they've booked Damian Priest pretty well. Yeah, they changed his gimmick up again for no reason, but it's working for me. But yeah, we're doing Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio teaming up to take on Miz and Logan Paul at WrestleMania. Not gonna be a match I do live reactions for, but whatever. I didn't watch the match. I just saw that, of course, that Dominic helped Rey again, which, again, I just don't get why the Mysterios keep helping each other out when they're supposed to be the faces. Who knows? So that happened. Then we started off the show with the match 2 years in the making. Was supposed to be the main event of WrestleMania 36. Of course, that's when Roman Reigns woke up and go, yeah, I don't need this at a time right now during the pandemic. And then he comes back and he turned heel and became the tribal chief. So, perfect. That match didn't happen. This match did, though. We get Roman Reigns and Goldberg for the Universal title. When this match was first announced, I'm just like, fine, whatever, I'll take it. Just get it over with. Roman Reigns' destiny at this point is The Rock. Like, that's really the next big match. Unless, which I will talk about this either at the... No, I'll wait till I get to my other little topic video I wanted to do about this. And I'll talk about it there. But to me, I'm just like, whatever. Like, it's on, it's not on, like, WrestleMania or Rumble. Even if this was at Rumble, I'd be like, whatever, fine. But the match itself, it was not, it was forgettable. It was a very, very forgettable match. Only thing I remember was that Goldberg hit Roman with 2 spears. Roman attempted a spear on Goldberg, but he was not able to do it. And all I remember what Roman did was that guillotine. I think Goldberg went for the jackhammer, but then Roman just like countered it into the guillotine. And there was a botch because there was a spot where you saw that Goldberg did grab the ropes, which should have broke the guillotine hold, but the referee didn't see it, and Goldberg just passed out. So spear versus spear, the match that was so big that Vince McMahon had to take the title off of The Fiend 2 years ago. And of course, that got canceled because Roman decided, do the right thing for himself. Just for this match to happen, and Roman doesn't even hit one single spear on Goldberg. Yeah, I don't get that. I really didn't get that at all. And like I said, the match was just forgettable. It was like all I remember was just 2 spears, a counter from a jackhammer to a guillotine. That was it. And of course the botch with Goldberg grabbing onto the ropes. Like I said, I hope this is. I agree with Mark. I hope this is Goldberg's last match. Again, and the thing that gets me about Goldberg continuing to wrestle is like his matches aren't that good. I mean, again, I know people say his match with Bobby Lashley at Crown Jewel was good. I didn't watch it, but the thing that baffles me about Goldberg is the fact that the whole point of him coming back in 2016 was to erase basically a bad taste he had with the way he left WWE 16 years prior, or 14 years prior, however long it was, 13 years, 12 years, I can't remember how long it was. Why are you coming back and putting on these bad matches, and you're obviously not getting a good response from the fans? So why are you kind of like putting that back into their faces? Or why are you kind of hurting the whole point of you coming back in 2016 and what that run was supposed to be for you? Like, if you weren't happy with how the fans treated you when you left in 2003, then the fans obviously aren't really a fan of what you're doing now. So I don't know. I don't get it. Like I said, I do agree with Mark. Hopefully that's Goldberg's last match. Again, all respect for his career and everything, but he's not needed. He's really not needed. Well, in some ways, yes, because WWE literally has nobody else, but someone who's definitely overstayed his welcome, has nothing left to offer. It's just, if anybody's overstayed his welcome, it's definitely Goldberg. I'm sorry, again, the guy is just, he's done. Again, he's had a great career. I was glad he came back in 2016, had the run he did. It's just like he's really got nothing left to offer. I'm sorry. I'll respect him. I think he deserves the spot where he's gotten, but again, he doesn't need to keep doing this. And plus, too, every time he does wrestle anymore, it's always for the title, but he loses. So how does he get to come back and immediately get a title shot? If that even makes any sense. But whatever. That was that match. The next match was the Women's Elimination Chamber match. It was a number one contenders match for the Raw Women's Championship. The winner will face Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. It was Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Alexa Bliss, her first match, I believe, since Extreme Rules, I think, when she lost to Charlotte Flair, and she ripped up Lily. Apparently, they've been doing some segments where they're trying to wear off the Fiend gimmick on her or whatnot, and I don't know. Rhea Ripley, Nikki A.S.H., Nikki Ash. She should be called Nikki Ash. Not a superhero. Nikki Ash, Nikki Cross, and Nikki Nash. I don't know what you're going to call her. And of course, Dewdrop, which of course she looks super miserable in that photo. Like, no offense, but it sucks to know that the only reason why Dewdrop is a heel is because WWE basically have her replacing Nia Jax. She's basically in Nia Jax spot since they released Nia Jax. At least, Piper Niven's much more, talented, of course. But also, the name just got to go. Why can't she just be Piper Niven again? But whatever. The match was decent. My only gripe about it and that's how I feel about both Elimination Chamber matches, it more so felt like a gauntlet match inside the chamber. Like, there was not many, a couple, but not many, spots that was necessary for the chamber. Like, to me, you could have gotten away with, a gauntlet match instead out of this or something like that. And also, I found it strange, they did this for both chamber matches. Why did they have the fourth or fifth person who entered the chamber start the match, and then the sixth person go to a pod? That I didn't get. I believe it was Alexa Bliss. No, not Alexa Bliss. Who was it? Who started the match? Let me go back here in history. Who started this? Who started the match? I forgot to keep this section pulled up here. I don't really use it all the time, but for a pay-per-view like this, BC here. Okay, yeah, it was Liv Morgan and Nikki who started off the match, and then Dewdrop entered following her, and then Rhea Ripley then entered. I believe there was a spot where Liv Morgan, I think, botched a being thrown over the top or something like that, but I think Dewdrop covered up for it. I can't remember what it was. But we had Rhea Ripley enter, who apparently, again, I didn't watch it. Apparently, she had a pretty strong performance in the Gauntlet match, the Raw before Chamber. Basically, kind of got like the Kofi Kingston performance in the Gauntlet match when Bianca won that to become the person at the advantage of being the last person to enter the Chamber match. And then, of course, when Rhea enters, her and Nikki go at it again because they're still fighting for I don't know why. Well, they're former tag team partners, but Nikki continues to be more of a joke as Rhea Ripley would eliminate her. Alexa Bliss came out, which until they mentioned it on commentary, I had completely forgotten that Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss were once a tag team. Did anybody else besides me forget that? Because I completely forgot that. But Alexa came out, for her first match since September, so 5 months. Not too bad. Dewdrop was then eliminated by Liv Morgan by roll-up. They still try to get you to think that Liv Morgan's a big star. And again, we all love Liv Morgan, but when she loses 90% of her matches, and then she's getting title opportunities, it's like, why take her seriously? We want to, but, it's kind of like how Matt Riddle was last year when he lost all of his matches. He lost 4 times to Bobby Lashley, yet they gave him the U.S. title at Chamber last year. Even though that was really supposed to be Keith Lee winning the U.S. title there from what I hear. But then Bianca was the final entrant. Alexa Bliss eliminated Liv Morgan. There was a moment before Liv was eliminated where Bianca and Rhea, who both, of course, won the titles at WrestleMania last year. And I still thought at the time that, Rhea should have been kept on Raw, Bianca should have been kept on SmackDown, and basically it was both their shows, which, but then their title reigns weren't well, especially Rhea's wasn't long enough to really, cement that. But they had like a kind of like we're doing kind of like a anything you can do, I can do better thing, back and forth sequence. Which that was cool. They had like delayed suplexes or something like that. But apparently, I think Rhea, they were supposed to drop them both at the same time, but Rhea, I guess, dropped hers first because Alexa's outfit got in Rhea's face and she couldn't see or something like that. But then Bianca eliminated Rhea Ripley, and then Bianca then eliminated Alexa Bliss. And Bianca Belair is number one contender going into WrestleMania to fight Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. Works for me. As I said, I'm pretty sure, if Ronda didn't come back, Bianca probably would have won the Rumble again, which, fine. Bianca needed like some type of story to kind of, get her momentum back. And strange enough, if I could step back for a second, let me pull up a tweet posted by, ours truly, Just Alex, who, I definitely watch a lot of his content. He posted some tweet earlier this week during Raw, because I actually did have Raw's background noise off and on Monday while I was recording my other videos. Where is it? Okay, so Becky Lynch cut this promo on Raw this past week where she said, "I am the victim. For years I've been told I wasn't good enough. They kept me off TV for over a year and told me I would never main event WrestleMania. I'm a victim of the system, a system that supports you, Bianca Belair, and I hate you for it." Which, strange enough, even though I'm still going to say Becky is definitely better to be a babyface, that promo she cut on Monday on Bianca kind of came like the whole story full circle, and kind of like, to me, even though again I don't think Becky should be a heel, but to me it kind of became full circle. It's like, I get now why you're a heel with the story. Basically saying like, look, I was on the sidelines for like, a year and a half, before they actually took me seriously, when, I finally, stepped up and I was champion, and then, I came back, you guys could wait for me to come back, but then the moment I come back and I win my title back, you guys weren't happy for me. Instead, you were, you guys, I mean, and no offense, like, in 2018, when Becky cut that promo on the Smackdown after SummerSlam, and she basically tried to get the crowd to hate her by saying we never believed in her, that was like total BS. I mean, yes, the crowd still loved Becky, but she was getting some backlash because she basically just made, was booked to, not her fault, but was booked to make Bianca Belair, who was, a big rising star, look weak at SummerSlam. And the fans hated her. We turned on her for it. Her character, of course. And to me, cutting that promo basically where it's like, explains why Becky hates Bianca so much, it makes sense. To me, it's kind of like, I know a lot of people, didn't like how they transitioned Bayley into being a heel. How they kind of kept her having the hugger gimmick with the music and the hairdo until they had her, like, cut her hair and change the music. To me, I like that because it played along with the story of, like, okay, Bayley's going heel, but yet she believes nothing has changed. So I was okay with that and how they transitioned her. For a while, though, I'll be honest, I was getting annoyed with her character. Because of, especially the stuff with her and Lacey Evans, and that stuff with holding Lacey's daughter, like, head on a stick or something like that. I thought it was so childish. But when it got to her and Sasha Banks, and the story there, it's like, it all made sense, basically, in the end. So, that's how I kind of felt now about, again, I want Becky to be a babyface again, as she should be. Especially if she faces Ronda next year. If hopefully she faces Ronda at WrestleMania 39, Becky should be the face, Ronda being the heel. I still think Becky, has something to prove against Ronda and beat her one-on-one. She was the one meant to beat Ronda for her first loss. That wasn't botched, unfortunately, because I've heard the rumors that at WrestleMania 35, Becky was supposed to get Charlotte to tap out, but of course the finish with her rolling up Ronda was botched. But just a thought. It kind of made Becky's heel story at least make a little bit more sense. In my opinion. But yeah, that's just my thought on that. But Bianca win the Chamber, I'm fine. The match was decent. Like I said, the only problem I really had with the match where I thought it was decent because it just wasn't really a Chamber match. Like it just felt like both Chamber matches felt like they were just like gauntlet matches. That's all it felt like. They didn't need to be inside the Chamber. So Bianca winning, fine by me. She's won a Rumble match. She's won Women's Championship. She's won Elimination Chamber. Good resume. I like it. Next match, we had this tag match with the SmackDown Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair, and Sonya Deville, who I always like to mention, just because I'm 2 days older than her. Yeah, I'm 2 days older than her. September 22nd, 1993. She's September 24th, 1993. But they took on a team of Naomi and Ronda Rousey. Obviously, it's two storylines going with each other because Naomi and Sonya are still fighting. And I still don't know freaking why Sonya Deville hates Naomi so much. Can they please just get this done with and just tell us why and move on? And of course, Ronda chose Charlotte for WrestleMania, which still don't think that was the right match, but you know, it is what it is. The stipulation of this match was, at first, Sonya Deville, I guess, had her arm in a sling because Ronda put it into the arm bar a few weeks ago. So the stipulation was that Ronda had to fight this match with one hand tied behind her back. I do like that Ronda came out though in a judo gi. That was cool. But I'll be real, this is a sloppy match. I didn't really like it. I thought that Ronda did not come across as like a badass fighting with one arm. She really didn't. Like, she just felt like some ordinary person with her arm right behind her back. I don't know. Like I said, I mean, her showing in the Rumble was fine. I just hope Ronda still's got what it takes. She seemed a little slow and just not as good in the ring as she was before 3 years ago. So I kind of hope, you know, I'm hoping she has a good showing at WrestleMania. Because again, even though I would rather have had Ronda and Becky, I know her and Charlotte can have a good match. They had a great match at Survivor Series 2018. I don't know though. I thought this was a little sloppy. And again, cool she came out in the judo gi. But again, I just wasn't that convinced that she was, you know, a badass with just one arm. Just my opinion, but hopefully, again, she'll turn it around for WrestleMania. Live chat. We'll check the live chat. We'll see what we got here. Tower says, I'm broad with Roman Reigns. No pun intended. Not sure if I get it. More like crown shit. Mark says, none of these matches are making me excited for WrestleMania. I was about to say before, the only match that I'm definitely intrigued by that's official for WrestleMania is definitely Becky and Bianca. I know we've seen it before, but that is actually what most people want to see. People actually want to see Bianca Belair get back on top because of, you know, what happened to her at SummerSlam. So to me, again, that's the only, you know, match I feel like that, like, the fans want. Everything else is what all WWE wants. Again, Logan Paul and The Miz teaming up against the Mysterios. Ugh. Well, Edge's open challenge, I think, is going to be interesting. Because I know people want Edge and AJ, which I'm still hoping we get Edge and AJ. Of course, now people are saying it could be Edge and Cody Rhodes, but Cody Rhodes showing up with WWE is not going to be me. It's going to be like me with CM Punk. I'm not going to believe it until I see it. Even though I still feel that Cody should have not left AEW, in my opinion. But, you know, we've talked about that before. But yeah, other than Becky and Bianca, there's nothing else that's exciting me that much for WrestleMania at all. JR, what's up, JR? Cesaro, WWE today. That's something I heard. And do you think he'll go to All Elite Wrestling? He's not under a 90-day no-compete clause. I did, of course, hear about that. I was going to do a live stream about that tonight, but I want to do other content first because I am still behind. But I definitely will talk about Cesaro in a separate video because that was a surprise for me. I didn't know he was only under a 1-year contract this past year. So he just re-signed last year. But I'll talk about that in a separate video. But definitely. Do you think Jeff Hardy will come to All Elite? Yes. I heard that Jeff basically confirmed in a video the other day. I forgot where it was, but he basically said once 90 days are up, I'm going to AEW, which, he should. So I guess, I don't know, it was just weird how he left. Nothing really did happen or what, so I don't know what happened there, but at this point I'm just like, whatever. Jeff in AEW is where he should be, for sure. What do you think, opponents were? It's Finn Balor, Damian Priest, AJ Styles, Cody Rhodes. Who do you think is going? I don't know. I still think it should be AJ Styles that Edge faces, to be honest. Mike, don't hate my booking. I booked AJ win the Rumble last month and face Roman at Mania for blue piece of trash belt, and Roman beat Brock here at Chamber, and AJ dethroned Roman. Tyler, actually, I'm not opposed to that. Actually, that is something I am going to talk about when I do another little topic video, kind of like a post follow-up from the end of this Chamber review. But I would not be against that. I would have totally been fine with AJ winning the Rumble. He hasn't won the Rumble yet, and facing Roman, because again, I said before, we got Roman Reigns and AJ Styles in 2016. This was Roman Reigns as, the bland babyface, and AJ Styles, still finding his footing in WWE. They put on two really good matches, but AJ, I don't know, because I know, he's older, he's definitely, a little bit more worn down, but with them, with them more fine-tuned, and it was Roman as the heel and AJ as the face. Last time it was face on face. I think they put in a great match. Like, that is one match which we could see because of what's going to happen at WrestleMania. But that is a match we could see at WrestleMania. Well, not WrestleMania, unfortunately, but within the next year or so. Roman Reigns and AJ Styles. I do think we have to revisit that feud again. So I would have definitely liked that idea. Again, the only problem is, though, like I said, it's probably going to have to be when Roman's double champ. Because, like I said, I keep saying this, as much as I would love to see AJ go back to SmackDown, I feel AJ staying on Raw for the rest of his career. Again, only because he wants to be able to be there for his kids' events on weekends. If it was the case, I'm sure AJ would be back on SmackDown. Like, I'm not going to hate it if he's not on SmackDown, but I'm not going to believe he's going to be on SmackDown because I heard that rumor and I respect it. And by the way, also, AJ Styles apparently re-signed a new deal, which I'm not upset he did. I'm just surprised because I thought he said when he signed his last deal, which was right before the pandemic, 2 years ago, I swore he said that was going to be his last contract. But he's still sticking around a little bit longer. Okay, and apparently he's got a lot more money than he was before, so he deserves it for sure. We got Dakota. What's up, Dakota? You think Cody Rhodes will be back? Again, as I said before, it's going to be just like it was for me and CM Punk. I'm not going to believe him being back to WWE until I see it. I'm one of the people who is kind of hoping this stuff with Cody and AEW, leaving AEW is a work. Because, again, I just can't see it. I can't see Cody Rhodes already leaving AEW so soon. He still had so much more to offer in the company. And to me, I feel like, it still would feel like that if he went back now, it would kind of be a little bit of a slap in the face as to why he left in the first place. I don't know. I still don't think he should go back, in my opinion. Triple H versus Cody at Mania would be interesting. That actually would be a good match. Well, except Triple H is having his health problems. I don't think Triple H is wrestling. They're going to give Cody the title from Roman. They're going to build Cody to be unstoppable for over a year, maybe, if he comes back. I guess Vince is high on Cody because he had balls to compete against him. Again, that could be. Like I said, I'm not going to believe it until I see it. If Cody goes back to WWE or not. I still think he should stay in AEW. That's just what I think. But we'll see what happens in the coming weeks. You never know, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, moving on. Match number 5. Oh yeah, Drew McIntyre versus Madcap Moss. I didn't watch this match because my friend and I watched Chamber together Saturday night after the show, of course, had aired. We had other things we were doing during the day, and we didn't care. We skipped through this match. The only thing I went back and watched from this match was that bump that Alabama slam where Moss landed on his head. That's the only thing I watched from this match. Drew won, as he should have, but it's setting up Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin at WrestleMania. Here's what I really do not get. What I really don't get. If Vince is so high on Baron Corbin, why does he keep booking him as this horribly booked heel that is not intimidating in the least? You know, if this was Lone Wolf Baron Corbin from NXT, and until he lost his briefcase on the main roster, I'd be interested, because I like that Baron Corbin. He was vicious. He had guts. He was not, he would be taking out people on during their entrances and whatnot. Now he's a freaking coward. He's a freaking coward, and he has nothing to make himself look intimidating. Literally, since he dropped the briefcase, the most badass thing, I think, I'll give him two things. Two things that Corbin did that was badass was when he hit Becky Lynch with the End of Days at Extreme Rules in 2019, and when he did the way I'll give it, and I said it in my Rumble review. At day one, I did like how him and Madcap Moss took out Drew McIntyre. But other than that, like I said, he's just a freaking why are you building him up as some heel to take out WrestleMania when all he's done is he's got nothing to back him up? He's a laughing stock. Him and Madcap laugh at these stupid ass jokes that aren't even funny. Yeah, well, the person we should be laughing at is him because he's a joke. And it's also said that the most intriguing you've been on the main roster is when you were Bum Corbin. Bum Corbin. And then we have, for the second time on pay-per-view, a jobbing match with Drew McIntyre and Madcap Moss. And Madcap Moss still won't wear on top. Again, I'm sorry. That outfit that he wears when he wrestles is just disgusting. I showed my own mother that, and she even agreed with me. But I didn't watch this match. Again, all I know is that Madcap got hit on his head. I'm glad he's okay, though, but I didn't care. Moving on. Next match. The best match of the show, in my opinion. Becky Lynch versus Lita for the Raw Women's Championship. Lita, I think, is 46, I think she is. She looked good. She really looked good. I remember when Lita came back for the first Women's Rumble in 2018. I remember she did her Elite Assault. And I remember she didn't get much height on it at all. I thought she was going to hit her head off the mat when she did it in the Rumble, in the Women's Rumble in 2018. But in the Rumble this year, and in this match, she looked good. I would have bought in, if she would have, because the rumors were she was going to go to AEW and feud with Dr. Britt Baker for the women's title. Had she done it, I would have bought it. I would have bought into it. I could have made it believable. Again, if she wants to wrestle a couple more matches, I'm totally for it. I heard they could do, her and Sasha maybe at Mania or something like that. I heard, which, honestly, go for it, because I originally wanted them to see them do Becky and Ronda and Lita take on Charlotte at Mania. But, of course, that's not quite the case. But, hey, this was good. Like I said, it was a good match. Lita put up a good fight. The only gripe was that Lita did botch that sleeper hold she put on Becky. She didn't get it on Becky good enough at first. It was a botch. But yeah, I think this is best match of the show for sure. Was this one right here? But yeah, good match. Match of the night for sure. We were supposed to have a match for the Smackdown Tag Titles with the Usos and the the Viking Raiders. Yeah, this match didn't even happen because it was just a brawl. It was just a brawl. Why did you? I mean, I heard it, and the thing is, I heard it wasn't because they were even trying to cut time on the show. I heard it was just because that was what the plan was. They basically flew these four over to Saudi Arabia, across the country, away from their families, just for a pointless beatdown for no match to happen, and apparently the match is not going to happen on a later date on SmackDown. Then what was the point of flying these for across the ocean, the Saudi? I didn't get it, so that was a waste of time for sure. And then finally, the main event was the WWE Chamber match. It was Bobby Lashley, the champion, taking on Brock Lesnar, Seth freaking Rollins. And it's not cool anymore to say Seth freaking Rollins because that's his actual wrestler name, Seth freaking Rollins, Matt Riddle, AJ Styles, and Vince McMahon's favorite, Austin Theory. Yeah, I definitely can say I enjoyed the women's chamber match a little bit more. Because this one, again, the problem I had with it is it felt like it didn't even need to be inside the chamber. It felt like a gauntlet match. First off, the match started off with Seth Rollins and Austin Theory. Riddle came in at the third person to enter the match, and then Seth Rollins, I can't remember who it was, did like a buckle bomb, throwing somebody into Bobby Lashley's pod, and Bobby Lashley got taken out of the match. And apparently the reason why was because Bobby Lashley's been dealing with a shoulder injury. So Bobby Lashley is going to be out for 4 months, apparently, with a shoulder injury and going to miss WrestleMania. Apparently he's been working hurt since Rumble, I heard. Which gets me wondering, then what was the point of even putting a title on him? Why, if they're just going to do this, why didn't they just have Big E, well, it wouldn't have made sense because Big E would not have been a heel against Brock the way they did at Rumble, but I still find it dumb how Roman Reigns basically took Brock Lesnar's title away when obviously there was still the men's Rumble match left and Brock could just enter the Rumble, and Roman, I feel like that was still a stupid move on Roman's part. Like I said, we'll talk about that match when we get to it. But in my opinion, I would not even take the title not even put the title on Brock, and just kept the title on Big E. But of course, that pushes over or whatnot. So that was definitely a waste to put the title back on Lashley. But Lashley got taken out without even entering the match. AJ Styles then entered after Riddle. And then, of course, I thought it was supposed to be Lashley entering the match, but then Brock Lesnar, which apparently he went off script, just busted the door down, busted the pod down, and entered the match on his own terms. And he just picked everyone off one by one. Walked in, F5 Seth Rollins. 1, 2, 3, you're out. Then you have F5 Matt Riddle after that. 1, 2, 3, you're out. He did to AJ Styles. 1, 2, 3, you're out. So just like that, literally nobody got any offense in on Brock at this time. He just walked in, picked him up, F5, gone. Stood up, F5, gone. You could have even given some people like some offense against Brock. I mean, okay, we've seen Brock and AJ. Lashley was got taken out because of his injury. We've seen Seth and Brock. I get it. You could have had like Matt Riddle have because that's actually a match I'd want to see without title. Again, here's the thing. Let me put it this way too. This other video I want to record has to do, of course, with the main event of Mania. Why I didn't want it to be title for title. And here's the thing. What makes me feel bad is because I've actually liked what they're doing with Brock. I like this new Brock character, this new, badass on his own, getting microphone time, this baby hair. I like what Brock's doing. It's just, again, you don't need to have him in the title picture all the time. You don't. Like, why couldn't we do a feud with, like, Matt Riddle and Brock Lesnar for a change? Or, Brock Lesnar and Big E, even without the title. Or Brock Lesnar and Kevin Owens for all I care. Like, that's still a match I want to see. Of course, Owens is a heel again, so I'm sure they book him like a freaking coward against Brock, but yeah, he came in, did this, and that, and then it came down to Brock Lesnar and Austin Theory. It was a few minutes of ring around the rosy of Brock chasing Austin, but then Austin actually hit a low blow on Brock, which gave him some hope, but you knew Austin Theory was not... I mean, credit where credit is due, Austin is slowly growing on me. I still get that I'm trying not to, but I still get that bitter taste because he's only there because Vince McMahon wants him to be there. I'm trying to get that taste out of my mouth because it's not these guys' fault, but I still got that taste because it's all about what Vince wants, nobody else. But the craziest spot of the night, besides of course that Alabama slam with Madcap Mosley on his head, was when Brock Lesnar hit an F5 on Austin Theory from the top of one of the pods, which was crazy. And of course, Brock Lesnar wins the title back, which I pretty much expected to happen. Like I said, even if Lashley was not injured, what was the point of taking the title off of Brock just to give it back to him? And the match with WrestleMania is officially title for title. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, title for title. Which is actually the video I'm going to be making. As I did a poll recently as to why I didn't want Roman and Brock to be title for title. Could be a good match. It could be. We all know they can have a good match. But I have my cons about it. I do have my cons about that being title for title. But that's of course going to be in one of the videos that I record tonight. And that, guys, that is my Elimination Chamber 2022 live review. It wasn't a fully insulting show to me. But as I said, it still felt pointless. But what happened, I'm just like, it's what I expected. I kept my expectations pretty low, and it's what I got. Nothing really was a complete what the hell moment to me. It was just like, yeah, I knew it was going to be bad. Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, I knew that. So, I gave the show a C-. C-. That's what I gave Elimination Chamber 2022. And again, like I said, I'm not that excited for WrestleMania, and I'm not really, looking forward to, I'm definitely, I'm going to do a video talking about why I didn't want Roman and Brock to be title for title, but we'll talk about that when I record the video tonight. Live chat, what do we got here in the live chat? I think we were with Dakota. That's real because people said WWE would just come out and say they don't want him and not help AEW. Tyler says Ronda sucks. Dakota says, I'm pissed. Roman made Seth, AJ, Riddle, and everyone look like they were enhancement talents. Roman? You mean Brock? That match was amazing, actually. Which match are you talking about? I think he's talking about Drew and Madcap for Falls Count Anywhere. Like I said, I can't judge it because I didn't watch it, but he thought it was good. Okay, cool. He thought it was the second best match of the show. Okay. What's that Japanese wrestler in AEW, the female one who was champion? She was... Wait, you talking about Hikaru Shida? Shida's AEW bound? I mean, WWE bound? I don't know about that one, how I feel about that one, but, wow, I didn't know that. Either her or Rio, probably referring to. They said Jericho will 100% have one last run WWE to end his career. That I can understand. I could see Jericho coming back to WWE. Like, yes, they did kind of... AEW had Jericho as their first world champion. They built the company around him. Yes, there's still a lot of talent, moving over to AEW. I'd like to see Jericho, face, but Jericho I can see going back to WWE. Cody, I can't see him doing it yet, in my opinion. Like I said, I just feel like it's too soon for Cody to go back to WWE. He still has so much left to offer in AEW. He should be at another level in AEW by this point also. So that's why I still feel like him going back to WWE at this point would be a little bit of a slap in the face. My opinion. Tyler agrees. Why put the title on Lashley at Rumble, which I didn't get if he was hurt anyways. Dakota, I heard whoever wins between Roman and Brock will bring back the big gold belt, which is what is the best world title ever out of any wrestling promotion history. I'd be okay with that. Again, if this is the titles merging, I'm not, and I'll get into it in that video, but again, I'm not against them merging titles. It's just, I didn't want that title for title match to be Roman and Brock. We'll talk about that in a separate video, of course, as I said. Fire Brock, Tyler said. Brock went off script. He wasn't supposed to do that. Enough with Brock versus Roman already. It's been done to death. Exactly! Glory, hallelujah. Thank you, Mark. That's exactly what my main video is going to be about. Vince needs to retire. As I said, I'm pretty sure Vince McMahon at this point is going to let the WWE die with him. Like, again, Vince McMahon is the new Joe Paterno, who, if you don't know who Joe Paterno is, he was the football coach for Penn State for all those years that basically he wouldn't give up until he was forced to because he hid some secrets, but, we're not going to get into that. But Vince McMahon, I feel at this point, is just going to let WWE die with him because he doesn't want anybody to do it any better. He doesn't want anybody else to do him, even once he's gone. He'll haunt them forever. Thoughts on Owens versus Austin? Again, it's just, why have to bring back Austin? Like, why actually have, again, I love Austin, but, again, they don't need, it's just a prime example of WWE, again, just relying on the past to draw tickets. It's just going to be to me, it's going to be just another segment. That's all it's really going to be to me, if they do that. This is WCW 2000 booking. Dakota was hoping Cody would come out and win the belt by replacing Lashley. That would have been epic. Have him win the world title in his debut. I wouldn't have been against that. He met Brock. She said she's leaving after her contract. Oh wow, I guess it was Sheeta he was talking about. He thinks MJF will go to WWE, and Brock was supposed to break out of the pod. I see. Oh, yep, that was on the script. But that's gonna do it, guys. Again, I definitely am gonna be recording a couple other videos tonight. Well, according to my list, I have here's my plan for tonight. I have 2 videos I want to record. They're gonna be pre-recorded. I do have a couple shows I'm watching tonight. If I'm not too tired, at 11 o'clock tonight, I will try to do my retro WrestleMania live reactions match. I will try to do that tonight. And go from there. And then if I do that tomorrow, I'll do my AEW live review. I've already watched AEW. I'll also talk about Cesaro tomorrow. There's another baseball video I want to do real quick, and then my Seinfeld and Harry Potter videos I'm going to try to do. Again, I've had a lot of content I've been wanting to try to produce, but like I say, I'm just busy and a lot's happening for me lately, guys. But, as I always say, I'm going to keep punch out the content, and you know what? I've been doing pretty good lately, I say, getting content now. My channel's not as dead as it was last fall. I'm at least been happy with that. But yep, that's going to do it, guys. Again, there's going to be 2 pre-recorded wrestling videos hopefully coming tonight. And then hopefully after that would be the live reactions to my next WrestleMania retro live reactions match, which is the one we'll be doing tonight is a match from WrestleMania 17. I believe Robbie Wan Kenobi suggested this one. So I will talk about that. I'll do that hopefully later on tonight. And guys, once again, thank you for joining me for this live review of Elimination Chamber 2022. Again, I gave this show a C-. What were your thoughts on Elimination Chamber? Did this show make you at all any more excited about WrestleMania? And of course, we'll get started talking. Do you guys still think Cody Rhodes is coming to WWE? Do you think it's a work? He's the same with AEW. Are you intrigued by the fact Cesaro left WWE today? Which I will probably do a video on that tomorrow. I'll probably do that one live, actually. I think I'm going to do that one live. But we'll do that tomorrow, of course, as well. And go from there. Guys, again, make sure to leave your thoughts down in the comments section below. Be sure always to slap a like on the video. Subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well at DemandAirborne93. Until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you all later. Have a great rest of your night. And peace out, everybody.